some of the things that I saw on that game camera, I have got a small doe or buck. I can't really tell at this point. It is really small. I wouldn't give it a little over 3 feet tall at the most. And that thing is showing up on absolutely every game camera that I have spread out in my area. She is actually, or he is actually living right here around the cabin. Like I said, I'm not putting any food out. I'm not putting any corn out, anything like that to keep them deer here. But this thing, every time I break a maple twig, a maple tree or something like that, like around my cabins, you're going to see one clip where I had broke some maple whips. So that, you know, if a maple whip on a camera moves a little bit, the camera picks it up as motion, and I get a 30-second video that's absolutely nothing except for that twig moving back and forth. So what I do when I set these cameras up is I break this stuff off. And after I broke that off, the first time was a complete accident. You know, I was just cleaning, you know, I noticed the first day I picked up a bunch of dud videos, so I just started knocking this stuff down. The next day when I went and checked my cameras, this doe and other does, they came up, and because this maple stuff was broke, they came up and inspected it, and they ate it. And some of them are 2 feet in front of my camera, which is making for some great videos of these deer. So anyways, this deer, I'm looking at the video, and all I can see is a neck, the neck of the deer. And she's coming right up. She can't be. You'll see. She can't be that far. She can't be that far from the camera. Up there, I'm on the camera up here looking at a little dinky screen that's on the game camera. But I don't know exactly what she's chewing on just above my camera, but she's right on top of my camera, as well as the whips and stuff. You'll see she's in there eating those whips. And all of this stuff is done right around my lean-to. You'll see some clips where now I'll watch them completely when I get home. I don't think they've actually got inside of the lean-to. But from what I can see so far, is some of them have walked right up to the lean-to. Like they were going to take one step and step right into it. And just crazy that I knew there was a lot of deer playing around that lean-to, but until I set up that camera, I had no idea how much time they were actually spending around that lean-to. Now, I think there's two reasons why they're spending time around that lean-to. The first one is I'm in the process, number one, it's a sunny spot. That's why I picked this lean-to spot, because the sun beams in. It will give me a nice warm place to have a cup of coffee. Well, I think that the deer are liking that as well, because they always bed down this time of year in a sunny spot. where it's quiet, it's private, no wind, which are all the things that I chose in choosing the site for this lean-to. So I think that's one of the reasons that the deer are spending so much time there. The other reason is curiosity. Like we've said, curiosity. I think they're always curious what I'm doing. They might even be putting two and two together about every time I make a trail, I'm cutting trees down. So they might be putting two and two together when they hear the saw, or they hear my chainsaw, or they hear my axe, that I'm probably cutting, as mostly the hardwoods. I know some softwoods, they will get the moss that's in them. I know that they're eating that. But they might be putting two to two together, that these trails mean winter food. Same thing with being able to walk on a trail. It's easier for them to walk on a trail that's already made than to plow their own trail. I put in the Silverback Trail a couple of weeks ago. That is nothing more than a deer highway right now. Now, yesterday I went down and I made my snowmobile trail across it, so now it's well packed down. So I expect them deer to even use it even more now that it is a full-blown snowmobile trail that they can actually walk right on top of. But this is some of the techniques that I use and that I employ in my deer hunting. I know that it's different than other people, like the dirty t-shirt. I don't know of anybody that's using dirty clothes in their deer hunting spot. But as crazy as that sounds, give it a try if you're in a setup like this where you can spend time. So that it's not something that happens overnight. If you can't just go out a week early before the season and set out some dirty clothes and think it's going to help you in deer season, because it's just not going to. It's something that is for me, it's a 12-month adventure of deer and deer hunting. Doing a brake job on a 1989 Skidoo Scout. The brakes that was on it were froze up this year. I tried to fix them. I got them all lubed up and everything was working great. And then as I was putting them back on, somebody had broke it off years ago and put a crappy weld on it. So one of the ears broke right off of the mounting bracket that holds on the brakes. So I am a long ways from any kind of store that I could buy parts for that machine. So what I have behind the woodshed, I have a 1986 Skidoo Safari. And the brake system on that will fit right on this one. That is my parts machine. So everything I needed to change out the brakes on this machine is right here at the off-grid cabin. And I'm bringing that up not to brag or anything like that, but to me that's part of the skills of living this kind of a lifestyle, is to, I call it a country boy will survive. But having that old parts machine out there, I have two machines that all of the parts on that old part machine will work on the other two. I have an 89 Skidoo Cheyenne. A lot of the parts will fit on there, and today I am using the brake system on this one. I was able to take off the entire brake system, and I'll mount it right back on this old machine. And that's why I like these older machines in the 1980s vintage. There's several years in there where all of the parts are interchangeable and very easy to work on. So up here on a hunting trip like I am right now, I can put this machine right back together, and not only takes a couple of hours to change out this particular part, and I haven't lost any time at all here at the cabin. So I just wanted to bring you along and show you some of the stuff that has to be done here at the off-grid cabin. So 2 reasons to join this channel. 1, you clicked on my thumbnail. 2, you made it to the end of this video. And we'll throw in a third one. The third one is this channel is all about the great outdoors. So subscribe if you'd like, and I will see you on the next one.